If your team runs cloud workloads, AI services, developer pipelines, or internet-facing infrastructure, today's security question is simple. Which patch changes your blast radius first? This is Daily Tech Hack Global for July 18, 2026. The facts in this briefing come from MDD, CISO when reachable, and linked vendor advisories. I will keep the discussion defensive, no exploit commands, no payloads, and no step-by-step attack chains. The lead item is CVE-2026-54052. NVD describes it as, N8N MCP is an MCP server that provides AI assistants access to N8N node documentation, properties, and operations. Prior to 2.56.1, in HTTP mode with multi-tenancy enabled through enable_multi_tenant equals true, N8N MCP's local workflow version history backups were not isolated per tenant, allowing an authenticated tenant to read workflow version snapshots belonging to other tenants and delete or destroy other tenants' stored backups, including full node definitions, credential references, and authorization headers. The recorded severity is critical with CVSS 9.9. Why it matters: agent tools often forward credentials or call internal APIs, so path scope, least privilege, and audit logs matter as much as model behavior. The second item is CVE 2026-48356. NVD summarizes it as, Adobe Commerce is affected by an unrestricted upload of file with dangerous type vulnerability that could result in arbitrary code execution in the context of a current user. An attacker could exploit this vulnerability to inject malicious scripts into a web page, potentially gaining elevated access or control over the victim's account or session. Exploitation of this issue requires user interaction in that a victim must visit a maliciously crafted URL. Severity is critical with CVSS 9.6. The operational takeaway is to map this advisory to exposed systems, service credentials, and any automation that can turn a small weakness into a larger incident. Item 3 is CVE 2026-13221. Perl versions through 5.43.9 produce silently incorrect regular expression matches when an alternation of more than 65,535 fixed string branches is compiled into a tree in Perl_study_chunk. When such branches are combined into a tree, the delta between the first branch and the shared tail is stored in a 16-bit field. A branch count above 65,535 overflows the field, and the tree's match decision table is truncated with. Severity, critical, CVSS 9.1. Defensive context, prioritize by exposure, privilege, reachable credentials, and whether automation can amplify impact. Item 4 is CVE 2026-58319. Certain Apache Doris FE HTTP REST administrative APIs were accessible without proper authentication. An unauthenticated attacker with network access to the FE HTTP service could perform unauthorized administrative operations, potentially affecting cluster integrity and availability and leading to cluster instability or denial of service. This issue affects Apache Doris versions prior to 3.1.0. Users are advised to up. Severity, critical, CVSS 9.1. Defensive context, prioritize by exposure, privilege, reachable credentials, and whether automation can amplify impact. Here is the defender checklist. First, identify whether any affected product is internet-facing, reachable from CI systems, or reachable by AI agents and automation. Second, patch according to the vendor advisory, not just the headline score. Third, review service accounts, API keys, pod identities, OAuth apps, and tool credentials that could be reused if the affected system was compromised. Fourth, add monitoring around unusual admin actions, image polls, tool calls, authentication failures, and outbound network requests. Fifth, document what was patched and what was deferred so tomorrow's team can audit the risk instead of rediscovering it. The larger lesson is that AI security is not only prompt security. It is the security of runtimes, cloud services, tool connectors, identity boundaries, and the operational process that decides what gets patched first. Patch what is exposed, reduce what is privileged, rotate what may have leaked, and make automation prove what it is allowed to touch.